Hey everybody, we've only got one video this week. It's coming in new on Thursday. Tuesday was meant for the 5 through 8 hours to catch up on what the 1 through 4 already did last week in that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, that really short week. So only one video this week, and Rex isn't here yet. He's coming up here in a little bit because I realized as I was making the video I had forgotten how messed up the schedule was. So just going to check in with you right now before Rex kind of takes it over about those changes. Agenda item 3 is going to be about this week's schedule. I'm cutting that out coming up here in a little bit. So agenda item 3 is right now. This week's schedule, again, you didn't have school Monday. Tuesday was for those 5 through 8 hours to catch up on last week's work that only we got on Thursday. They didn't have that yet. So if you're in the 5 through 8, you've got your class on Tuesday. Wednesday, we've got an advisory check. And then this video you're watching on Thursday. And that's this week's only video. So with that, talking about the activity for today, agenda item 8, today's activity, you're going to be working on page number 4 of the vocabulary work. So after you watch the video, go make sure you do and read your independent reading for 20 minutes every day as is expected. Go in and fill in Rex's reflection question. Be thoughtful. What artifact or interesting item would you want if you could have anything? And then open up page 4 for the vocabulary of work this week. And that's that. So I just wanted to check in with you first to realize why the upcoming video is going to be kind of cut the way it is. So welcome back to week 6. Hey kids, welcome back. It's week 6, day 1. Today's reflection question: if you could have one thing, an artifact, like a famous painting or a samurai sword, whatever, what would it be and why? Remember, be thoughtful. See you later. Hey kids, welcome back. I am filming this on Monday, May 4th. You have the day off. It's about 3:15. I just got done with the work day of teacher planning, so I thought I'd give a little filming session for tomorrow, for Tuesday when you get back into it. So welcome back. Let's see what's on the agenda today. All right, we have 8 agenda items today. 1, keep active, keep healthy. 2, self-improvement. We'll see where you're at. I gave you that challenge. 3, I'm going to talk about this week's schedule. 4, we'll talk about the mystery box and give some shout outs. 5, we have our favorite sayings from you all. 6, we have our show and tell. 7, we have a few comic strips to read to you. Got the Star Tribune from last Thursday, and I'm going to read a few comic strips for you. And then 8, I'll talk a little bit about the activities you'll be doing this week, and that's it. All right, it is a beautiful day. We'll give some shout outs to the neighborhood. Throw out some good energy into the neighborhood. It is beautiful outside. It's been a nice several weeks, so hopefully you're getting outside. That brings us to agenda item number 1. Keep active, keep healthy. Don't forget, every day get your body moving. I know we're all cooped up, but the best thing to do, especially as it's springtime and soon to be summer, get your body moving. It's so good for your mind to have all your body physically able to process all those things it needs to process. So get yourself out there. I know myself, when I say I go for a run at 3:15, I do about 5 miles and 3/4, so 5.75 miles, and that's pretty consistently. I'd say I'm running about 5 days a week right now, and 2 or 3 days a week I do some core workouts and push-ups. I do various core workouts like planks, ab crunches, leg lifts, and then again I do push-ups. Some days I do plyometric push-ups where you actually push yourself off the ground and then catch yourself with your body weight. Just add some explosion into that. So challenge yourself, get yourself moving, keep yourself fit, keep yourself healthy. Agenda item number 2, self-improvement. So I challenged each and every one of you over the past couple of weeks to think of something. We have all this time, right? We're all cooped up, and you typically be going out bicycling, going to the movie theaters, drive-ins, going to get some malts or whatever you're doing out there. As young people do, whatever it is you're doing, you're not doing it in the same routine like you would have been. So you probably have a lot more time to yourselves, like I have. And I told you my self-challenge for self-improvement is learning video editing. And so far, the past couple of weeks, I've been putting out things that are better than they were. I imagine a little more interesting, and hopefully that's more engaging for you. I know I have had fun doing that, so just a little quick check-in. Where are you at with how you've challenged yourself? What have you tasked yourself to do? How are you becoming a better person, a better version of yourself? That's something that you should always strive to do. Think about yourself. Every year, at the end of it, you should become a better person or have become a better person. And it's something that you should be consciously aware of. You should live purposefully in becoming a better person than you currently are. So what have you tasked yourself with learning and doing to be better? And how are you at? Where are you at? Let me know. Send me a message. I know I've been talking with several of you in Zoom meetings. Some of you have noticed my phone number. It's very inconsistent, so message me in Schoology. I can give you a link to Zoom. We can talk that way. Let me know how your quest for self-improvement has been going. I'd be curious to hear from you. And I always love to see those puppies. All right, moving on to agenda item 3, this week's schedule. And then Wednesday, you have an advisory check-in day. And then this Thursday and Friday, you're going to be having a new activity. You have today, Tuesday, to finish up the assignment you were given on Thursday last week. You're going to be having advisory check-ins tomorrow on Wednesday. And then Thursday and Friday will be a new activity assigned to you on Thursday. So I'll be releasing new activities on Thursday. Moving on to agenda item number 4. Mystery box. It's been a lot of fun. This is my best mystery box item so far over the few weeks we've been doing this. I think I've had 6 mystery box items so far. I had calls from between the 6th and 7th grade. I only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of you calls. So shout out to Silas, Noah B, Maddie, Sophie, Mason, and Tyler. That's a mix of 6th and 7th graders. Thank you for calling. That's always fun. It's always nice to check in with you. Hopefully see some pets as well. And then Thursday, I've got a new item in there. So get a hold of me, and the way to do that, the best way to do it is message me in Schoology. I'll send you a Zoom link. Agenda item number 5, favorite sayings from the 7th grade. All right, this one is from Andrew Becker. Thank you, Andrew Becker. Mistakes are proof you're trying. 100% agree with that. So thank you, Andrew Becker. Mistakes are proof you're trying. We learn from our mistakes. I like it. So don't be afraid to fail. Good job. The next one is from Robbie C. Thank you, Robbie C. If you want the rainbow, you gotta put up with the rain. I love that as well. If you want the rainbow, you gotta put up with the rain. And I think that's what we're doing right now. We're putting up with a little bit of rain through the social distancing. I know how challenging that is for us all to be a bit isolated and removed from our friends. But it's going to get better. This is just something you're going to endure, and you're going to come out of this better and stronger. I know I've already become more resilient in the way I process my own emotions, and I know I have had experiences with challenges and frustrations in this time. And I've learned to adapt and cope and kind of contain my emotional expressions, and I've been noticing how I process those emotions in a lot more calm and healthy way. Again, keeping active is a huge thing for me in that, dealing with those emotional frustrations, and in I just got off a Zoom, not a Zoom call, but a FaceTime call with my mother today. So just reaching out, making sure I'm purposeful with reaching out with my friends. I know I checked in. I no longer do Google meetings, but I do Zoom meetings. But you do have Google accounts. You're welcome to have Google meetings with all of those friends that you have. And I encourage you to do that. Go in. You can access each other's Google, your emails. Go out, and if you haven't had a meeting or had a video or a FaceTime with your friends, you can get our school emails. That's information that's in Schoology. So you can look them up through your classes, go find your friends, look them up, send an email to them, and set up some video time with your friends. So keep in touch. That's a good part and a good way that I'm finding to maintain some calm and some peacefulness in my life. Again, thank you, Robbie, and thank you, Andrew, for sharing those thoughtful sayings. Agenda item number 6, our show and tell. All right, so shout out for 7th graders, Audrey S., Drew S., Lacey, Sophie, Anna, Aiden H., Andrew M., and Mrs. Trample. Thank you all for sharing the content for our show and tell this week. It's really fun. This, again, has been, I think, my favorite agenda item. Show and tell. This looks like some cool lighting. It looks like Drew, some cool LED and black lighting. Really cool stuff. All right, Audrey's gotten her hair dyed. Nice. And the puppy. Bonus points for the puppy. Cool stuff. This is from Lacey, I believe. She is in Show Dog. She does a professional show, and this is a beautiful, beautiful dog. I don't know what it is. It reminds me of a greyhound with that long face, but with the long hair. I forget what this was called. Beautiful sunset. It looks like it's either seen through a porch screen or a screen on a trampoline. Thank you for sharing that beautiful sunset. Sophie is doing some creative crafting and beautiful art. Great job. Keep it up, Sophie. We've got, I think this was Aiden H's kitty cat. And that is how I talk to all animals. Kitty cat. Cute. Love it. Bonus points. This is from Andrew McDonald, I believe. Haltal, I'm feeling you. Spring sports were canceled, so thank you for sharing your solidarity with sports. I can't wait till those come back for participation in and viewing of. I love sports. I think this was Anna showing. I haven't seen any ducklings, so this is going to be very well the year's first ducklings. Cute. I'm going to give a quack out to the window for this. And this is from Mrs. Trample. Great. Thank you for sharing, Mrs. Trample. Again, she has all that great land. Looks like they're cultivating and building up a garden. Wow. Beautiful. Mrs. Trample, thank you for sharing. She got to see her son as well. That's got to feel great. So thanks again, everybody, for sharing your pictures with us. Please keep sharing. I usually delete the old assignments where you can submit your pictures so that it's not confusing. Again, those are not worth points. It's just a fun way of our classroom to connect with each other. See what you're up to, seeing the beautiful things that you do get experience with, and that's just a way for us to all keep positive together. So thanks again for your show and tells. All right. Our comic strip. Here it comes. Pearls before swine. Where's Rat today? Buying a giant Easter egg. But Easter's over. Not for Easter. Virus-proof pod. The new normal. We've all been hearing about what the new normal will be like once we can kind of exit social distancing, or at least reduce the type of social distancing measures we've been doing. Maybe you'll get an Easter egg virus-proof pod. Adding a little humor to kind of the gloom. Love it. Mother Goose and Grimm. Mother Goose and Grimm, day 47. Of course, this is referring to the stay-at-home order in Minnesota. I think it's currently, today on May 5th, it's currently day 53. I might be mistaken, close to. This is last week's newspaper. And I think I feel like that dog. A little agitation. Everyone inside and together who has, looks like who has friends are a little more sane than those people that are by themselves in their own little, like me. This is me over here in my little apartment. I do have my girlfriend I see and my family, so I'm thankful for those people in my life. But tundra, ha, too slow. So leaving the fish is jumping out of the water away from the bear, but not looking is jumping into the bird's claws or talons. There's an idiom, there's an idiomatic expression, jumping out of the pot and into the fire. All right, there are your daily comic strips for the day. I love comic strips. I know when I was a kid, I used to look forward to getting and seeing my dad had a regular newspaper subscription, and my favorite one personally was Calvin and Hobbes. I was obsessed. I was in middle school actually when I was introduced to Calvin and Hobbes, and I was looking through and I wonder if they reprint Calvin and Hobbes, and they don't, and at least they're not in the Star Tribune. So I love comic books. I think I'll share. I'll make that a regular routine as part of our agenda as well. All right, continuing with Loser by Jerry Spinelli. Chapter 20, Nowhere. When is it over? Zinkoff doesn't know for weeks. He is only dimly aware of things, dimly aware that as time goes by, he seems to be seeing less and less of Binns. He rides to Binns' house, and Binns isn't there. He phones. Binns says he has homework to do. He asks Binns this, asks him that. Binns always seems to say, I guess not. Even Binns' voice over the phone seems to shrug, seems to be looking into the beyond. And then one spring day on the way to school, Zinkoff sees a cluster of licorice spit marks on a sidewalk, and it makes him feel a little sad and remembery. And just like that, he knows it's over. And something new begins. On that same spring day, something happens to Zinkoff. An A happens to him. A's almost never happened to Zinkoff. Absolutely never in major tests. But this was a major test in geography, his favorite subject, and somehow he has aced it. In fact, his A is the only A in the class, a fact which Mrs. Schenkfelder announces while holding up his test paper for all the world to see. I bet that felt great. That public affirmation. Zinkoff gets an ovation, his first ever. Woo! Standing ovation, like at a theater perhaps. Several kids stand. Barry Haynes even whistles, though probably more to show off his whistle than to honor Zinkoff. Congratulations continue to pour in all day. Pats on the back, playful punches in the arm, hair mussings. He wonders if it happened because he rubbed his lucky pink bubblegum stone before taking the test. In the playground, people want to see it. They snatch it from Zinkoff's hand and rub it over their faces and chests and under their arms like a washcloth, rubbing in the A juice, sighing. And everyone laughs, and Zinkoff laughs hardest of all. Like gaudy birds, his name flies in new forms across the schoolyard. The Zink! The Z-Man! The Genius! The Zinkster! It never occurs to Zinkoff that all the fuss is more than a simple A can account for. It never occurs to him that the loudest and showiest of his congratulators are really not congratulating him at all, but mocking him for blundering into the only A he is ever likely to get. Zinkoff does not see this. All he sees is that he seems to have acquired the power to make people happy. The very sight of him brings smiles and twinkly eyes to his schoolmates. Spotting him, boys jerk to a halt, plant their legs as if straddling a motorcycle, thrust a pair of finger pistols at him, and bellow, "There he is!" Hands sprout like weeds to be high-fived. "Yo, Zeke!" As he comes to the dinner table one night, he stands for a moment at his chair. He thumps his chest with his fist, declares, I'm the Zink, and sits down. His mother and father look at each other. His sister Polly says, "You the what?" And then this too is over, and like the best friendship, it's over before he knows it. In fact, it has never been quite what he thought it was in the first place. One day, Zinkoff notices that, except for Katie Snelson and a few others, no one smiles at him anymore. No one is high-fiving him, no one yo-zinking him. He thinks about it, and he figures he knows why. Field day is coming. We know what happened last field day. How sad. And no one takes field day more seriously than fifth graders, and that's what Zinkoff thinks it is, merely a turning of attention from himself to field day. He has heard his last yo, seen his last smile. Okay, he thinks, no problem, and he puts on his own game face. He brings chairs from the kitchen to the backyard and practices the weave around the chairs race and the 1-foot hop and the hiney hop. He goes out onto the sidewalk, and just as he did when he was little, he races cars to the end of the block. And it surprises him that the cars seem so much faster these days. He does jumping jacks. Meanwhile, in school, Gary Hobbin is rising to prominence, as he does every year around field day time. Field day is still 2 weeks away when Hobbin goes to Mrs. Shankfelder and asks her to pick the 4 teams now. We want to have time to go practice together, he says. So Mrs. Shankfelder writes across the top of the green board, red, yellow, purple, green. Then she writes each student's name on a slip of paper and mixes them in a box. She yells Ronnie Joe Thomas up front and tells her to turn her head away and pick a slip from the box. The first name out of the box goes in the red column. The next name goes in the yellow column, and so on until each student is assigned a team. Gary Hobbin is a yellow. So is Zinkoff. "Oh no!" blurts Hobbin the moment he sees Zinkoff's name go up under his. The teacher turns from the board. "Pardon me?" "We can't be on the same team again," says Hobbin. "We're supposed to be on different teams each year to make it fair." Mrs. Shankfelder frowns. "Don't be silly. There's no such rule." Hobbin snarls under his breath. "There is now." 10 minutes later, Zinkoff receives a note on his desk. The note says, "Forget yellow, join another team." On the playground at lunchtime, Hobbin comes to Zinkoff. "Did you get the note?" "Yeah," says Zinkoff. "What's it mean?" "It means what it says. You're not on yellow. Join another team." "But I am a yellow. Mrs. Shankfelder said so." Hobbin is taller than Zinkoff. He leans down until his eyes are locked into Zinkoff's. Zinkoff can smell the hot dog on his breath. "You gross." "Listen," says Hobbin, "you're not going to make me lose again. There's no way you're going to be on my team. You understand? Forget it." Zinkoff is confused. A week ago, Hobbin was high-fiving him and calling him the Zink, and now this? "But I practiced," says Zinkoff. "I'm good now." Hobbin laughs. "You're a loser. You lose. Go lose with somebody else. You're not a yellow." He walks off, turns back, and you can't even walk right. It's in Zinkoff's mind to say, "But I got an A," but he knows it will make no difference. Each team has a captain. Hobbin, of course, being captain of the Yellows. In the days that follow, Zinkoff approaches each of the other team captains and asks if they could use a new member. Each one says no. Zinkoff does not know what to do. He is tempted to tell Mrs. Shankfelder of this problem and let her handle it, but he thinks better of it. He is too embarrassed to tell his parents, to admit that no one wants him on their team. He rubs his lucky pink bubblegum stone, hoping to change his luck, and he continues to practice. If anything, he practices even harder and longer. He is not home for dinner on the last day before field day, and his mother has to send Polly out to find him racing cars 2 blocks away. And even as he gasps for breath walking home, listening to Polly harp at him, he knows what he will do. He gets up as usual the next day and heads off to school, and he does not arrive. He veers and walks the other way. In the distance, he hears the late bell, and he wants to run to it, but he does not. He walks the streets of town. He looks at his feet, trying to see what Hobbin sees. Probably seeing why he doesn't walk right. Man, this is some extreme form of bullying. You got a young 5th grade student, 10-year-old, not in school. How unsafe must he feel to be out in the community during school? The town is the same and not the same. The same brick house fronts and sidewalks, but no kids. He feels the picture he lives in has been tilted. He has never been so aware of air, the space around him. He feels like he did when he wandered by mistake into the girls' room. He is the only person he knows to have done so more than once. A woman across the street is in a flowery bathrobe, leans from her front door to pick up a newspaper on the step. A yellow cat emerging from an air shaft studies him for a moment and darts back in. He tries walking the alleys, and that's worse. He's unhappy everywhere. He is nowhere. He wishes to be somewhere. He wishes to be with people. But he cannot go to school, and he cannot go home. Ultimately, he walks to the 900 block of Willow. As he heads up the sidewalk, he is comforted to see that the waiting man is there, even at this strange time of day. He waves to the waiting man and arches for a wave in return, and aches for a wave in return. It occurs to him to do a silly little dance to see if the waiting man will smile, but he chickens out. Claudia, the little girl in the harness, is not outside today. He is tempted to knock on the door. Can Claudia come out and play? How silly would that sound? Him, 11 years old. Oh, mailman! He turns. She's across the street, leaning on the walker. He runs to her. He wants to hug her. He's so happy she's there. Hi, he says. Hi, she says. It sounds funny. Hi, coming from such an old person. He has the impression he could teach her to speak, like a talking bird. She reminds him of a bird. And then the thin legs sticking out from the bathrobe. School mornings must be the time of bathrobes. Come on in, she says, as if she knows he needs to be someplace. She doesn't say, what are you going to do here? It's a school day. She doesn't say, what's going on, or where's your bike? She just says, come on in, as if this happens all the time. He goes in. Very friendly. I've got a doorbell. Hold on 1 second. I hear someone's here. I'm going to put this away. I'm done with the show and tell. I'll be right back. Hopefully I've got a guest here for us. Hey kids, Courage the Cougar back. Don't tell Mr. Ermer. What the heck? What the heck is this? Huh. Oh man, did Courage the Cougar come again? Silas told me about him from the 6th grade. That he had messed with my... And I finally found the duck laying outside. Wow, okay. Huh. I don't know what the heck that was. I really don't know why Courage the Cougar doesn't stop and say hi. No one was there. Maybe he's doing the ding-dong ditching. Really kind of annoying, and it'd be nice to see him. I haven't seen him for months since school got out. So anyway, I forgot to talk about the activity. I kind of talked about it in this week's schedule. So today, thanks again, everybody.